Very pumped to be joined by last year's Clark Cup MVP, a top prospect in this year's NHL draft, now a freshman at Boston University, and I guess former Muskegon Lumberjack, Tynan Lawrence. Tynan, how you doing?
Great, great. Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Hey, I got to talk to you after we gave you the MVP last year in the playoffs. I feel like,
Hmm
I've gotten to know you just a little bit from afar, and I'm so happy for you with everything that's gone on this year. But how
hmm
crazy has the last week or 2 weeks of your life been?
Yeah, it's definitely been a new experience for sure, but it's been a lot of fun. Definitely some some change in face and some change of scenery, but it's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm excited to keep it going.
I do kind of want to rewind for a second because I was actually in Fargo
hmm
a few weeks ago and I was talking to Graham Jones about you, one of your old
Yeah.
teammates at Shattuck, who's now in Fargo. And he
hmm
told me a story about this like 1-on-5 forward checking drill you guys used to do at Shattuck, which was basically called get us going tie. Like that was the
Yeah.
drill where I guess they dump it in and you just play 1-on-5. Can you explain that story or that drill?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a fun drill, but they would I think I'd always like to start that drill. I always like to, forecheck and get a challenge on, but I feel like it just started one day. I did pretty well in that drill. I think 1 on 5. And then, next thing you know, it just kind of became a thing and kept going. So every week, like drill after drill, I always started off. So it was like a kind of like a little inside joke there.
Are you telling me five guys couldn't get the puck from you or couldn't break
Uh,
it
it
out against you?
depended on the day, I guess, but no, sometimes it was definitely tough.
That's unreal. So fast forwarding just a little bit,
Mhm.
obviously, I just wanted to bring up that story because I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, but my first question, for you right now, are you still in the Muskegon group chat?
No, no,
You're not? You
I had
left?
to leave that one. No, I'm still in a couple. We had a couple small group chats on Snapchat, like 5 or 6 of us. So still talking those sometimes, but no, none of the big ones.
Did you send like a goodbye message? How did that work?
I didn't send any message, but like my last day there, I went to the rink and packed up, and everyone knew by then. So I gotta say all my goodbyes in person. So it's kind of nice
Mhm.
instead, doing that over the phone.
Was that one of the hardest things you've had to do? Just like say goodbye to your teammates, midway through a season? I imagine you've never done that
Mhm.
before.
No, I haven't, but no, it's definitely like goodbye. Especially it was a little easier last year. Especially you could see some guys how to challenge, saying goodbye. It was their last year junior, but last year I always knew I was, coming back to junior, coming back to see them. So it wasn't as tough, but uh, definitely different now this time, knowing that I won't be back in the season for a while. So it's definitely a little bit harder.
And when it comes to making the decision, how long or how many days did it take you to think about it and decide? And when did the conversation first start happening?
Yeah, I think it took BU brought it up. It obviously took it wasn't something I decided right there on the spot. I took a good time, a couple days to talk with my family, the ones closest to me that have been on the journey for so long and have helped me out to get here so far, like my agent, everyone in my my initial tight circle. I heard everyone's opinion. Everyone thought everyone was very supportive of my decision, and we all thought it was gonna be the right decision. So it was kind of a crazy couple days, but at the end of the day, I think I made the right choice.
How sick was it putting on that Terrier red for the first time? Did you do one of those things? I know a lot of guys do it where you put on the jersey for the first time, you go right to the bathroom mirror and check yourself out and see how you look. Did you do one of those?
No, no, I didn't, but I definitely took a couple. I definitely, first time seeing that hang in my stall, I definitely took an extra peek at it just to, just understand the jersey you put on, everything that comes with it.
And the guys gave you the rookie lap. I actually did that at Mercyhurst my senior year. We gave a guy
Yeah,
a rookie lap at Bentley, but then we got smoked like 8-2. You guys
yeah,
actually won the game.
yeah.
But how did that come to be? And did you love it or did you feel uncomfortable with it?
Nah, it was kind of a little bit weird. We were just going out for. I had no idea. Like I was coming out for warm-ups. Like there's a big, everyone's huddled in the tunnel, and then I come out. Like I'm normally like one of like the later guys, and then I hear a yell from the front of the line, and the guys are like, "Oh, you're going." I was like, can't really say no to it, right?
Yeah.
Because kind of rookie lap. So I kind of just embraced it and had some fun with it.
And I know it's still Christmas break, but your first game, you're playing at UMass, like a really, great hockey school. Obviously, I'm a little biased
hmm
because I played
Yeah.
there, but what was that like stepping out there for the first time, lining up for the face-off, and like, really just coming to terms with the fact that, a week ago you're in the USHL and all of a sudden now you're playing
hmm
college hockey.
Yeah, it's definitely a different feel, but at the end of the day, it's still hockey. I feel like you got to understand that part. It's still I played against some of those guys last year. Played with them. Galanic and Nestor were on the other team that game,
Mhm.
but that helps bring it a little bit into perspective. Like with other guys, like you've played against guys, you've played with them, played against them, so it made it a little bit easier. Understanding like, yeah, you're playing college hockey, but there's no different from guys last year. A lot of guys came in, they've been doing well, so it's like a little bit easier on you mentally there.
Did Nestor or Galanic mess with you in warm up at all, or no? None of that.
No, I could like see Nash still looking over at me, trying to make eye contact with me and make me laugh a couple times. But no, he's a fun guy.
How about your first meal on the road? Did you have to do like the stand up on a chair and sing in a restaurant or anything like that?
No, no, I didn't have to. Oh, hopefully I don't have to do that soon.
Oh,
But
that's
no,
coming.
I
That's
didn't.
coming.
Yeah, I gotta keep my shoes and shoes in line there. I've got
Oh
to
yeah.
keep paying attention for those. But no, hopefully I don't gotta do that anytime soon.
When it comes to the jump itself, though, like, is there one thing about the game that felt maybe harder than you expected, or something that you had imagined in your mind that just felt totally different than what you thought it would be?
Yeah, it's kind of everything you expect. But once you're there, it's kind of a different feeling. You can only prepare so much for it and mentally before being in the game. But no, everything's kind of what you think could be. Guys are a lot bigger, stronger, faster. Obviously, that's going to be a big thing. But the only main thing is just your time with the puck. You don't have those 4 or 5 seconds. It's like 2 or 3. That's the main difference to make a play. But other than that, it's kind of just getting your feet under you, getting adjusted, and learning how to play with these new guys.
So looking back at Muskegon a little bit, they're a year and a half, won a Clark Cup last year, like we said. When you look back on your time, is there one thing that you miss the most, or is it still kind of fresh and you haven't really been able to look back yet?
Um, it's still pretty fresh. I mean, I think I always miss, obviously ended really well last year with the group of guys we had, but just the bond we had last year together, how close, even if we lost, how close we were together as a team. There wasn't a single guy on that team who was left out or, didn't feel involved. Everyone that played a huge part, and I feel like that's why we had success. But just kind of like the brotherhood we had and we built throughout the season will always be something I look back on.
And what was your favorite part of the run itself? I mean, like the parade. I don't even know if I've seen a junior hockey team do a parade before. I can't believe you guys did one. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I know that was pretty electric coming back to Muskegon. I think honestly that like when we got back, like getting to see all the fans, how happy they were. They were almost just as happy as the players themselves. They've some of them are lifelong fans of Muskegon and Muskegon hockey, and having never won a championship there, never bringing home something to show their pride for, but seeing look on their faces. Some of the fans there, you get to know and talk to that have been fans for 15, 20 years, like forever, like as long as I've been alive. But just to see them come out and support us and see how happy they were, and the look on their faces definitely meant a lot.
I didn't get to see the highlights of the game at BU, the first
Hmm.
home game. Was the student section there, or are they still on break?
No, no, no. Everyone's still on break until after this weekend's classes start up. So
So no
should be.
band yet or anything like that?
There's a band there, but there's no like no students there at all. It's just kind of just like normal fans there. It's kind of like similar to junior actually.
Okay, so
It's
you
not
haven't had the
bad.
full experience yet. Once you get the student section, then it's like, okay, this is college hockey. That's the
Yeah,
best part.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
where are you staying right now? If it's break.
Uh, the dorms are closed right now, the freshman ones. So there's a good bunch of us. Not just hockey team, but lacrosse. There's a good bunch of athletes right now staying in a hotel, like right on campus. That's a 10-minute walk from the rink. Not
Mhm.
even. It's just everything's so close here. It's pretty nice. But there's a lot of people staying in the hotel. But we get to move in tomorrow, so that should be a good time.
Are you gonna have a roommate or are you getting special treatment?
No, no, I get a roommate. I have a roommate right now. He plays lacrosse. But once we move into dorms, I think I'm gonna move in with some of the other freshman hockey guys, so I get to,
Nice.
it's kind of get some familiar faces in your room.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I guess I gotta ask, like, how'd everything go with school and transferring classes and credits and all that stuff? I mean, that could be a bit of a hassle at times, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely more of a behind the scenes of more at BU and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and that helped me out a lot with the whole getting ready for taking actual college courses. But it's something where you kind of finish high school early. You're doing online courses, so you can kind of just cruise at your own pace, and my pace is pretty high, so I get my classes done early. But No, there's a lot of help outside of me doing my school from the BU, the staff there helping me and coordinate my classes and how to make sure I'm registered and everything works out. But it was kind of a fun time to get to figure that stuff out.
All right, well, it's good to hear that's all taken care of and you don't have to
Mhm.
worry about it. Just focus on the
Yeah,
hockey, right?
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I know these questions are gonna come nonstop over the next few months, but getting into your
Hmm.
draft year and like I said, getting to know you a little bit, I know you're not a kid who crumbles under pressure. I think you kinda crave it and thrive in
Hmm.
it. But have you enjoyed all this attention of being a top prospect in the NHL, or is it just another day for you?
It's kind of just you get used to it. You go by it, day by day. You just kind of do your own thing. You're in your I'm not really paying attention to everything online. I kind of just do me and play hockey. Just do what I love to do best. But no, it's definitely a fun time. You only get one draft year. It's only it's a once in a lifetime type of opportunity. But obviously, you don't want to take it for granted at all. But kind of just enjoy it. You kind of embrace it, and you try to have as much fun as possible this year. And I feel like I'm trying to do that too.
I've been dying to ask you this question also, and I know
Mhm.
you're aware of it. I think I called you, the USHL McDavid last year in the Clark Cup final. Was that a fair comparison or maybe a stretch?
Um, with the stretch he's going on right now, I think that's a bit of a stretch. He's like two PPG in the NHL, which is a little different.
Pretty insane, pretty insane. But
Yeah.
seriously, that's how much fun it is to watch you. And I
Mhm.
guess, the last couple questions here, like when it comes to your game and your draft year, what part of your game do you really want to improve on the most at BU? Or is there anything that you feel like college will help you specifically?
I think college will help me, overall continue to grow my game, especially playing against, older, smarter, faster guys. Definitely more similar, pro style hockey, but it's nothing, too big of a change from USHL. It's still kind of the same style, very very defensive, very structured, which I think helps me a lot throughout this experience. But I think it's just trying to do what I do best and continue to grow and develop as a player and as a person off the ice. But and then continue to work on my strengths, my speed, my skill, continue to build on that, and I think I'll be just fine.
And my last one for you here, Tynan. And again, thanks so much for the
Mhm.
time. Bean Pot Monday's coming up. What have you heard? What do you expect? And how excited are you for it?
Uh, I've heard a good amount. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty pumped. I heard it's a pretty big thing here in Boston. A lot of people care about it outside of just your school. Just everyone cares about the bean pot and about watching that. So it should be a fun experience, and I'm excited for it.
Have you seen any highlights ever?
Yeah, yeah. I watched some of the games last year and the year before.
Who
It's
stood
pretty
out the most
sick.
for you?
What?
Who stood out the most for you? Any specific players or
No, I remember watching Celebrini his bean pot year. He had a couple nasty nasty goals, so
oh
I
yeah.
remember watching him.
That's a good one. But thank you so much, Tynan. Can't wait to watch the rest of the year. And
Mhm.
I'm happy the games at UMass are done. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's
You
fun.
got it.